Welcome back to the Dragon's Lair, everybody. My name is Wade, and this is my show Playtest. This is actually episode 0 for a game series that I'm going to be rolling out here called Capes. Now, Capes is a turn-based superhero RPG strategy. It's everything that I love, and I was really surprised by Capes. So let me tell you a little bit why. It's from a publisher that I'm not familiar with. So this is from Spitfire Interactive and Daedalic Entertainment. If I had to guess, I would say they're European. A lot of the characters give off vibes like they're from London. Just the diversity and the accents and things like that. I could not get a hard copy here where I live in Michigan, so I bought it off the PSN network. And at the time, I bought it for, I think it was $39, which is not bad for a brand new game. It did come out in 2024, and I did get it when it was brand new. Took a minute to play it because I was playing other things. But the reviews on Steam are mixed. So you can get it on Steam for the PC, you can get it off the PSN network, you can get it on Xbox, you can get it on the Switch. And the reviews on Steam are mixed. The reviews on IGN, which is the website that I look at a lot, is an 8 out of 10. And a lot of the other review gaming platforms also had it at 8 out of 10. It's got a pretty solid 8 out of 10, or 4 out of 5. The one thing that I would warn you about is language. So it is rated teen, but I'm going to disagree with the teen rating just because it's got a pretty healthy amount of swear words. There isn't really drugs, there isn't really alcohol, there isn't really sex, although they do make references and mentions that some of the characters are in relationships with each other. There isn't any nudity, there isn't anything obscene, none of the characters are scantily clad. So just as a parent to a parent saying that, there's a pretty decent amount of F-bombs, and I don't really enjoy that kind of gaming. I call the game out for it quite a bit with language warnings, but the game is the game. It's a pretty cool game. I really liked it. I did not know that there was as much game there as there is. So the internet says 29 hours. I probably spent more than 29 hours with it, just because there's a lot of replay value. So kind of how it works, let me put the video on. Kind of how it works is, and this is sped up, but there are missions, and then there are like trainings that you can go on. And you do these missions and trainings, and you get SP, which is skill points. And all of the missions, you can see them on the left-hand side there, have like objectives. So by completing the objectives, you get more SP. And then by performing maneuvers, like everyone's got different powers. You can gain SP by using this power 30 times, or doing a team-up. If two characters are close enough to each other, you get a special move, which is called a team-up. And the team-ups are often just a little bit better than the base character's move. So there's a lot to do there. There's a lot of replay value, because I actually went back and farmed SP a little bit to make sure that I ended the game with really strong characters. And I needed it, because the game can be pretty challenging. I'm not going to lie. It's not as punishing as XCOM. So if you're an XCOM veteran, you never miss, step one. And XCOM will just straight up gut you and then laugh. And although the game did not pull its punches, it never gutted me and then mocked me. I had plenty of fails, plenty of missions failed, but usually after I saw how I failed, I got it. Oh, okay, that's what we got to do here. There's also a really wide range of strategies and tactics and things. So, for example, you have a tank. Okay, cool. And he's all about soaking the attacks or taunting the bad guys to attack him, or creating obstacles on the map that bad guys have to go around or avoid, or shielding allies. Okay, and he can do damage, but that's not what he's all about. Anyways, and then you have a striker who she's all about backstabbing people because she's kind of like a rogue character and she can teleport around like a nightcrawler. And that's pretty cool. But then you start to get, there's like another striker where he uses mind powers. But as you level him up and you unlock more of his abilities, all the characters can go to level 5 as a maximum. And after you get that much experience, you start unlocking more abilities and spending your SP to make them stronger. And his abilities, the psychic striker, he kind of becomes more about manipulating the turns. So if you look at the screen on the right hand side there, there's the turn, kind of like D&D, where you roll for initiative, right? And that's the turn that everybody goes on. He can use abilities that delays people and then moves them further down the turn. Or he can use abilities that, I forget what it's called, Inspire maybe, but it brings allies up the turn. And so getting a mechanic that manipulates the turn order is pretty cool. And being good at that is pretty cool. It was an unexpected way to play the game. You do eventually get a healer. You don't start off with him. You don't even have him for half of the game, really. But you do get a healer, which that becomes super important. I was really pleasantly surprised to see that the speedball, that was her right there. Her name is Mercurial, her superhero name. The speedball turned out to be really cool, and she actually wound up being my favorite. I did not think she was going to be my favorite, but she wound up being my favorite. There's another couple mechanics, like disarm becomes pretty important because bad guys are going to unleash like strong attacks, and you can disarm them and stop them from doing it. There's also a push and drag mechanic, so like pushing bad guys off of buildings or dragging bad guys into pits instantly kills them. So then, like, sometimes bad guys have like life bars, like multiple life bars, and you have to deplete each life bar before they're defeated. Knocking them off a building depletes all of their life bars all at once. Pretty cool game. I really enjoyed it. 30 hours was more than what I thought I was going to get out of this. And like I said, I probably have more than 30 hours. I really enjoyed it. One thing that is sort of disjointed is it seems like there's a misbranding. So, like, you have the characters here on the map. Cool. They all look the same. And then when you go into, like, the story mode where they interact, the art is different. And then there's like movie story modes where the art is different again. And they all are obviously the same characters. They look similarly enough, but the art is different. They had different artists. The models are different. It's a little weird. All the voice actors are really consistent. It's just some of the art is inconsistent. That's not enough for me to be negative about this game. It was weird that happened. It definitely stands out. I really enjoyed it. I do think the story, oh geez, the story's really practical because it deals with what real people would have to go through if they were the superheroes of a city, and that can get a little dark, and it does get a little dark. And then it sort of like lays out the practical conclusions of that. So if you're looking for like a happy, Superman, I never tell a lie, and there is no gray. That's not what this story is. There's gray in this story. And it's all very logical and makes logical conclusions sense, but that does not necessarily make them good heroes. So I do think there was a little bit of a story issue, but once again, not enough for me to be like, boo. So I would say a strong A. I would say a strong B plus or an A minus is where I would put this game. Like an 89 to 91 is where I would put this game. But that's still really good. I try not to play things that I rate as below 8. So this definitely stays in my rating system. Happy to have spent time with it. Happy to have ferreted out some of the XP to get stronger characters. And I really enjoyed it. I think you should too. I highly suggest this one if you can spare the language. I don't suggest it for your kids because of that reason. But I liked it and enjoy this playlist of videos. We here at The Dragon's Lair want to say thank you for spending your time with us at The Dragon's Lair.